Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yeah, don't ask me. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel where, yes, we'll do it live. I don't know what's going on. I got to figure out why Streamlabs OBS is doing things backwardsly. Like my preview screen turns into a live screen every once in a while. I don't know. Who cares? We'll just figure it out. One day I might have to just dump it again and start over. Who knows? I don't know what to do. The settings are correct. Everything I've looked at is correct. But anyway, that's not important because we're here to talk about the news of the day. And I got a bunch of that. Although I haven't really opened a lot of articles today, I do have plenty of just, the current events, so to speak, from X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And also, I wanted to leave space open because Supreme Court announcements should have begun happening. And so I'm going to periodically go to go to X in a live spot at the end here. And we'll look to see if the Supreme Court has announced anything yet. Because those have started to come out. Some of the decisions in some of these cases. Oh my God. To that are going to affect the Trump trial, and some people are really, really concerned about the Trump trial because that's the most important thing happening right now, right? So we'll do that and more, but first, of course, we're going to say hi to everybody. Let's see what I got here. What is that? Yeah, so there you go. All right, so let's say hi and get this thing going because, we are. Get off my screen, smarmy prick. Who's this? Oh, Chuck. It's the smarmy, Chuck Schumer smarmy prick from New York. Yeah, remember he was telling Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, you will pay the price. Yeah, that was a direct threat to Supreme Court members, wasn't it? Now, maybe it wasn't a violent threat, but it certainly was a threat, telling them that they will pay the price and they will reap the whirlwind. Well, that's not good. Anyway, here, let me hang on a second. All right, that stopped me from coughing into the mic. Let's say hi to the peoples because the peoples are free. Welcome first in the chat over at Rumble. Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Also, good morning, Kessler. Nice to see you over on Rumble today. And I don't know. Let's see how many people are on Rumble right now. It says 7. I'm one of them. So 6 plus Kessler and AD. That's not bad. Then sometimes it's just people doubling up, but just doubling up is fine. Over on YouTube, though, the first in the chat is Somnambule Nation. What is going on? Gets the bell. Congratulations. Also, good morning, Avocados Diablo, Amazing Disgrace, Kara Soldier, Simon Wolfwood, Sure You Gospel, Special K on Acid, Gunfox61, the absolute fantastic administrator of the P-Dog Night Discord server. Good morning, Zed the Snarky. Hello, Lord Stanhope. Let's see. Wow, that's a lot of people here quickly. Good morning, my favorite Canadian, Jaeger Pony. What's up? And that might be, well, my computer's doing this thing again. I don't know if it's the computer or if it's Streamlabs. Maybe it's the computer that's screwing me up. Also, good morning, Tyler F's in the house, and that looks like about it, except it's still scrolling. So who else is down here? Anybody? I don't know. There's got to be more. Okay, it's working now. JB's in the house. Darren Root, what's up? All right, so that's a good little crowd to start with. And I don't know how well the stream is looking to you right now. And I had some problems with the countdown. Well, that was just a little Streamlabs issue, but we're done with this. Let's get into the news. Let's start talking about stuff. Because, just because. I'd court the Supremes if Diana Ross were 50 years younger. Well, 50 years ago, 50 years, Diana Ross. Yeah, they were still fairly young, I guess. Because 50 years ago, it'd be 1970 or something. Yeah, they were still, attractive young ladies. And now, I suppose they're attractive old ladies now. I don't know. Is Diana Ross still alive? She looked like hell last time I saw her. But that might have been in the 80s. Because when she was upside down, you turn me. I thought she looked terrible then. But she's kind of one of the queens of Motown, and deserves her place in history, I guess, because they were one of the great girl groups of all time. You know what I mean? The stream is going in reverse. No, it's not going in reverse. You got to be kidding me. It's not going in reverse. Oh, I see. Because the way the way the timer went, yeah, that was kind of messed up, wasn't it? All right. She's still alive last I checked. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, no, I think she's still alive. She's like 80 years old. Well, let's see. Let's look it up. Let's look up Diana Ross. Diana. Whoops. Ross. Diana Ross. Come on, computer. There we go. Come on. Let's see. Diana Ross. Born March 26, 1944. So, yeah, she is 80 years old. And American singer actress. She was the lead singer in the vocal group The Supremes, became Motown's most successful act in the 60s, one of the world's best-selling girl groups of all time. They remain the best charting female group in history. Yeah, they were something else. So, yeah, she's still alive, age 80. Congratulations, Diana Ross, you're still alive. All right. You know what I didn't do today, too? I didn't check the birthdays. I didn't check the special day. Let's see. That's Supreme Court. I already got that. Let's see if there's any good happy birthdays. Because I didn't do that yet. Happy birthday. You just go on to X and you type in happy birthday and the most prominent birthdays will pop up. Let's see what we got here. Billy Joel. There we go. I'll take it. Today is the Piano Man's birthday. How old is Billy Joel today? 75 years old. He's only 5 years younger than Diana Ross. So, there we go. We'll say happy birthday to Billy Joel. Here he is. This is 75th birthday, Billy Joel. What songs are you listening to in celebration? Well, there's really only one Billy Joel song, and that's Big Shot. Okay, that's the only Billy Joel song that matters. Although Piano Man is what put him on the map. Was it Evening in New York? What's that one called? Or something like that. Uptown Girl. That's a good one. Oh, look, they're going through some of the stuff here. What is it? Let's see. Billy Joel. What else? Okay, we're not doing any more Billy Joels. Anyway, happy birthday to Billy Joel. Happy 75th birthday. We'll leave. In fact, we'll put Billy Joel up here. Billy Joel. There we go. And we'll put that in the links today. How's that? If you want to reminisce about Billy Joel. But legendary musician Billy Joel celebrates his birthday today in the 80s. Wait a minute. In the 80s, some of his biggest hits included Uptown Girl, We Didn't Start the Fire, You May Be Right. That's a great song, You May Be Right. You may be right. Do-do-do-do-do-do. I may be crazy, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. Okay. That's your Billy Joel interlude. All right, let's move on because that's really not what we're talking about today. The day today is one of the Christian church. Today is Ascension Day, the day that people say that Christ, the Lord, ascended to heaven post-resurrection. He was taken up into heaven. Jesus reigns eternally. Anyway, on this Ascension Day, this is a prayer book society. Everything's jacked up here. Prayer Book Society says on this Ascension Day, let us lift up our hearts with our hands unto God in the heavens. That's from Lamentations 3:4-1. May we be, however, not as mourners longing for a God whom we see no more, but as people who rejoice to see God in heart and mind in the day of his life. So anyway, that's that's what Ascension Day is about. And I already said Billy Joel. What's this one? Oh, now let's just get into some stuff. Oh, Moving Out. That's a good one too. I like Moving Out. Oh, you're just putting Billy Joel songs in the chat. I got you. So we got Captain Jack. Captain Jack will get you by 9. Scandinavian Skies. Not familiar with that one. If that's a song. He also wrote, the number one Billy Joel song, the theme to Bosom Buddies. Is that his? New York State of Mind. That's a great song. I'm in New York State of Mind. I guess we didn't start the fire, did it? Okay, here's the thing. When I was saying that Big Shot is the only Billy Joel song, I was being facetious. His entire book is amazing. I had the privilege. When was it? It was in the 90s. It was in the Twin Cities. I had the privilege to go see that when Billy Joel and Elton John went on tour together. My God, they played for like 3 hours and still didn't run out of songs to sing. They were just, between the two of them, it was amazing. It was an amazing show. They had big old orchestra on stage and stuff. That was fantastic. And I wasn't either. I don't know if I wasn't a huge fan of either of them necessarily. They both had great music and I liked both of them, but that tour was just crazy. Just crazy good. They were, and they both of them, it was like before both of them started kind of losing their high range a little bit. So, Elton John maybe a little bit, but Billy Joel was still belting it out really good. That was a fantastic show. So, for the longest time. That was the longest show, but it was very entertaining, and I could watch another hour or two of it because they were so good on stage. That's when concerts went from $12 to $250. Yeah, it was very expensive, and our seats. So if you're facing the stage, okay, and this was an auditorium it was in an arena, so the stage is here. And our seats were here, like in a balcony. So we're looking down on the stage from stage right, which is left when you're looking from the audience, looking down on stage. And it was phenomenal. And Elton John did a Supreme song to bring this all full circle. Yeah, no, he didn't. So anyway, all right, moving on. Let's just get into some stuff because there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Joe Biden, the president of the United States, had another embellishment on his personal history, which is some of these embellishments, like his uncle being possibly eaten by cannibals and corn pop and all these other ones. They just get better and better. So this one now, Biden falsely claims his Catholic school teacher was drafted by the Green Bay Packers during a Wisconsin appearance. Okay. President Biden blurted Wednesday that one of his childhood Catholic school teachers was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. The 81-year-old president shared a false claim as he boasted of his connection to Wisconsin sports fans during a trip through the swing state. By the way, he's up 6 in Wisconsin right now. It's one of the swing states that he's actually winning, at least in polls. That poll just came out, I guess, yesterday. He says, my theology professor at the Catholic school I went to was a guy named Riley, last name, and he had been drafted by the Green Bay Packers, Biden said in Racine, Wisconsin, which is just south of Milwaukee. And he decided to become a priest before that, so he didn't go. But every single solitary Monday that Green Bay won, we got the last period of the day off. What? Now, here's the true story. A University of Colorado quarterback Maurice Tex Riley was selected with the 202nd overall pick in the 22nd round of the 1947 draft, after his education was interrupted by World War II, during which he commanded bombing missions over the Pacific, according to a 2002 article in the Denver Post. Instead of playing professional football, the Bronze Star recipient rejoined the Air Force in October 1947 as a civil engineer and was deployed to Japan and later to Spain. Riley also served as an instructor at bases in Ohio and Alabama before retiring as a major general, according to a military biography. So, but he wasn't one of Joe Biden's teachers. So I don't know where he came up with this story. The White House did not immediately respond to the Post's request for comment. Biden previously told a different version of the Packer story, describing how Archmere Academy's headmaster, Father Justin E. Deeney, would dismiss students early in celebration of Packer victories. The president's long record of embellishing stories and attempts to establish a personal connection with audiences. In 2021, Biden told Jewish leaders that he remembered spending time at and going to Pittsburgh's Tea of Life synagogue in 2018 after the worst anti-Semitic attack in U.S. history, in which 11 people were ended. Synagogue officials said Biden never visited the house of worship, and the White House later said he was thinking about a 2019 phone call to the rabbi. No, there's a difference between a phone call and being there, right? Just last month, Biden attempted to underscore links to his childhood hometown of Scranton, Pennsylvania by visiting a war memorial that bears his uncle Ambrose Finnegan's name, then twice claimed his uncle may have been eaten by cannibals. And he actually died when his plane crashed in the Pacific Ocean. Biden has shared at least 13 times as president a debunked story involving an Amtrak conductor to underscore his links to passenger rail claimed in 2022 that his uncle Frank Biden won the Purple Heart, even though the details of the account made it factually impossible. So there's a whole list of other Biden claims that turned out to be not so, what's a good word? They were bullshit. Lies, yeah. So anyway, that's funny. That's news today. That's it. Thank you for joining us on the Morning Night Live. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Gunfox 81 sponsors the show, the Hamilton, putting a big, whatever that thing is, $10 bill. And you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. And it says on the super chat, it says, "Oh, this is rich. Enjoy." Well, I'm sure we will enjoy this. So let's see. I'm going to, why isn't that opening? It should be opening. Why aren't you opening? There we go. What is this? It's an MSNBC opinion piece. Oh my God. What? All right. It'll be the first, I'll get to that shortly. Okay. Thanks, Gunfox. I think. Hi. I doubt that he's up by 6. Oh, you doubt he's up by 6 in Wisconsin? It's just a poll that came out yesterday or today. A couple of them actually, in Wisconsin, that he's up, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they don't expect rural Wisconsin to vote. I don't know. Who knows? All right. Next thing on here. Now, Vivek Ramaswamy and Ann Coulter had a little. They're both trending because of an interview that they were doing. And Ann Coulter said something really weird, and I'm trying to figure out why she said it. And not that it just seems weird to me, and I'm frozen on that screen. Great. So the reason they're trending is because of this interview, and this is well, here, just listen to it and then see if you can figure out Ann's point. Now, there's people who think that Vivek is not eligible to be president because his parents are from India, but his parents were legal immigrants to the United States, and Vivek was born in the United States, so he absolutely would be eligible to be president, run for president, be president, serve as president, because he's considered a natural born citizen. and some people say, oh, he's an anchor baby. No, his parents both are naturalized citizens. Now, I don't know if they were naturalized citizens when he was born, but they were naturalized citizens now. And which obviously they wouldn't be eligible to run for president, but he is eligible. He's born in the United States. He's born in Virginia or something like that, or New Jersey. I don't know where the hell he was born, but it's in the United States. So he just says, but anyway, listen to this. This is weird.
And that's why I brought on today somebody who I think has some thoughtful perspectives on the future direction of our country, of our conservative movement, and on this question of nationalism and national identity, somebody I've been fascinated by for a long time. Have interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having at least a live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening.
Now that's funny because there's still some people complaining that she's called him articulate. But I think when I hear people say articulate, often I think of older people saying young people are articulate, but when you say it about black people, it's insulting. So if you want to say that I'm articulate, I don't care because I'm not. That's a lie. So you can just pack that one up and send home. Good morning, Ranty Monkey. How you doing? And also Tex AG 007. So anyway, here's the part that got people riled up, though. Here it is. Come on.
Segment, lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that.
Okay, now, everyone who put this clip out cut it off there. So I didn't necessarily see what else she said. Now, it's interesting because Vivek himself also stopped the clip there, but he doesn't seem to be all that upset about it. In fact, what he says now, and she says she wouldn't vote for him because he's Indian, but I don't know what that means. But here it is. He said, Ann Coulter told me flat out to my face that she couldn't vote for me because, quote, because you're an Indian, end quote, even though she agreed with me more than most candidates. I disagree with her, but respect she had the guts to speak her mind. Well, that is pretty ballsy to say it to his face. It was a riveting hour, and the Truth podcast is back. So I'm very, very curious because everyone playing this clip is only playing that part of the clip where it ends, where she says, it ends where she says, I won't vote for you because you're Indian. But here, someone here did actually put a 10-minute clip up here and says this is a masterclass in how to have a conversation, and tells Vivek she wouldn't have voted for him because he's of his Indian ethnicity, basically not white or white mix. Vivek's conversation with her is pure gold, much to learn from his temperament. Because Vivek, here's what I mean. I always got. I'm going to put that 10-minute clip in there in the links today. I haven't listened to it yet, so I don't know where to look to see if she elaborated on that at all, or if that was just some kind of troll that he did or she did to get people riled up, because she does that too. She fucks with people, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I watch the 10-minute clip. But it didn't sound good. And they're talking about nationalist stuff, so people obviously think when you say nationalist, a lot of the suspected peoples who don't like that term always include the word white nationalist. Now, no nationalist. I don't. That doesn't. That's not what they were talking about. But anyway, so anyway, I encourage you to watch the 10-minute version. My sister made the same racist comments about Vivek. Guess what? She is a liberal. Oh, a liberal said that racism can exist in any and every party. Y'all better believe that in 2028, Vivek will be the only way. Maybe. He says the right things, and he's one of the best debaters I've ever seen. He's a master debater. And so anyway, that'll be in the links, and you can watch the 10-minute clip, which I'm adding separately right here if it ever pops up. But we're not going to watch it right now because I have other shit to talk about. But also, I have a super chat from GunFox61 dropping another Hamilton in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Whoops, what the hell? With the bell. And this one says, breaking news. BLM sues the Tides Foundation? Oh, no. What? Okay, that's definitely an article we'll get to today, if it ever pops up on my screen. God, what is going on with my computer? I definitely need to upgrade. All right, let's move on, though, because other things happening. In a sad news, another January 6th defendant has ended themselves. This is sad. The tragic turn of events. David Homol, not Homo, Homol, H-O-M-O-L. A defendant charged in connection with the January 6th Capitol riot has taken his own life in Florida while awaiting trial. This heartbreaking incident marks the fifth suicide amongst individuals facing charges related to the events of January 6, 2021. The news has sparked an outpouring of reaction on social media. Okay, I'm tired of the X summary, so I'm not going to read the whole X summary. Brandon Straka, if you're familiar with him, says, David Kennedy Homel, 55, on the left, shot himself on April 17th. Homel is at least the fifth January 6th defendant to choose suicide over the ongoing injustices being leveled against J6 defendants by the government, the mainstream media, and brainwashed and hateful people in their own communities. Homel was awaiting trial accused of assaulting police on January 6th, which is usually the trigger for Biden's DOJ to add terrorism enhancements to what might otherwise be simple misdemeanors. That's telemarketer. Also important to note, the government has charged numerous people with assaulting police, and DC juries have convicted them of such, and the mainstream media has eagerly reported the government narrative, despite the fact that in many of these cases, the defendants have clearly demonstrated that they were actually trying to help police and or keep the peace. It is assumed that at least 2 additional suicides attributed to January 6 abuses, 5 are now confirmed. So that's sad news. And they're treating some of these, like they say, like I said, they are charging them with violence when they have evidence there was no violence. They committed none. Not every January 6th person there with January 6th committed violence. In fact, almost, you'd say, a tiny percentage of them committed any form of violence, and some of it was after police started throwing flashbangs and beating them with batons. So, if you're fighting back someone who's beating you with your ass with a baton, I mean, now look, there's even evidence they may have killed a woman, beat her to death, but they saying, oh no, she died of a heart attack. No, there's video of them beating the hell out of this woman with batons, and so go figure. But yeah, they are definitely messing with the January 6 people, and it's very sad. And some who the ones, if they caught the ones that were breaking into the place, I can see charging them. If you found some that were fighting with police and for no reason, charge them if they committed violence. But a vast majority of these people just wandered into the building after it was already open. So many of them were just standing around. It was a mostly peaceful protest. In fact, overwhelmingly peaceful protest, except for the idiots who got caught up against the police. And when they were breaking into the building, the Capitol Police just stood back and let them. And then at points, there's video of the police letting them in the building and just chatting with them. And they're all walking around. Some got tours. The dude with the buffalo head, what do you call it? It was in the Flint, the water buffalo. The water buffalo, what do they call them? The water buffaloes in the Flintstones instead of the elks or whatever, the dude with the water buffalo head, they gave him a tour. So It's really weird. Anyway, good morning. Now what studios in the house? Hi, Woo. Good morning. The anticipation of being innocent, but the government wants you to go to prison is a unique kind of hell. I'm so sorry that he could not get through it. Yeah. And yeah, that's, well, yeah, you know, you're someone who knows how that works, how the justice system can find you guilty when you didn't do shit. So, all right. Senator Rick Scott is trending, or no, governor. He's the governor now. He's the governor from Florida. He's not the governor. He's the senator. He was the governor. Now he's a senator. DeSantis is the governor. Now Rick Scott is the senator. He's trending because for a couple reasons. Apparently he's going to be in New York today before day 14 of the Alvin Bragg Biden trial. President Trump said that Joe Biden is abandoning Israel, that he filed a motion regarding a gag order, and that Senator Rick Scott of Florida is there today with him. Well, that's interesting. Now there are some people who are upset that Rick Scott is joining Donald Trump today. I don't know why they give a shit. I don't know. Wu-Tang is for children. This is an anti-Trump account. Trump's family doesn't even show up at court for him, but there's Rick Scott ready to kiss the cult leader's ass. You'd think that the senator from Florida would have some actual work to do today, but I guess not. Well, the Senate, I don't believe, is in session today. So what work would he have to do? Come on. You know those motherfuckers don't work. What are you talking about? So anyway, Senator Rick Scott will be at the courthouse today to support his friend Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump's friend, okay? He's there to be supportive. All right, let's move on as my Streamlabs stops working again. There we go. Thank you, Avocados Diabli, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, aka $2.23. Thank you, sir. And AD says, is there any evidence this guy ended himself because of the shit he is going through over J6? Or are people just doing what they did with the cops who ended themselves after J6, assuming that was the cause? I don't know the answer to that. It very well may be the cause because they have evidence of it, or it may be over something else. But I know that the J6 defendants are kind of going through hell. It's a fair question. So I don't know the exact answer, but that's it is quite the quinky dink. And I don't know if he was, well, it's interesting though. He wasn't, how did he do it when he's not in jail? He's not in jail for anything, but there's still the cases ongoing against him. Apparently he's one of the few that they've actually let out pending his trial. Hi, sure you're right. What's up? Thank you for joining us. So, and GDSOB's in the house. Okay, so moving on. Barron Trump is now this is a whole Trump section here, Trump family section. Trump and Trump family. Barron Trump is trending. The 18-year-old son of the former president. Apparently because Barron Trump is going to be a delegate from the state of Florida in the presidential or the Republican National Convention. Isn't that wild? Now, there's people down here now who are saying Barron Trump is fair game. I repeat, fair game. Don't care. You came for Chelsea at 13. You went after Obama girls as children and still are attacking them. This anchor baby deserves nothing less. Why is he an anchor baby? What are you talking about, anchor baby? He's a lab experiment gone wrong. Get the fuck out of here. His father is a U.S. citizen. You dumbass. Anyway, Barron Trump, the Republican Party of Florida, chooses Barron Trump as one of the state's at-large delegates to the Republican National Convention. So there you go. He's the 6'7", 18-year-old who just is graduating high school will be a delegate to the Republican National Convention. Now let's see. Meet Barron Trump. The Florida Republican Party chose Barron to be an at-large delegate for the summer's Republican National Convention. MAGA isn't going away. Okay, well, there you go. And and some are saying that Barron Trump will be the tallest president in history. Well, let's not count the chickens before Mar-a-Lago is seized by what's-her-face. Anyway, so that's the news. In a surprising political move, Barron Trump, the 18-year-old son of former President Donald Trump and former First Lady Melania Trump, has been chosen to serve as Florida delegate at the upcoming Republican National Convention. This announcement has sparked a flurry of reactions across social media platforms, with some expressing excitement and support for the Trump family, while others question the significance and implications of Barron's involvement in politics at such a young age. Now, he's not the first 18-year-old to be a delegate to a convention. It's interesting that he's the president's son. That's weird. So anyway, moving on, more Trump news. Oh, he's 18's trending too. Now, I don't know. This one says he's 18 and has the potential to make a significant impact on politics in the years to come, should he choose to pursue a career in that field. I don't, why would you think that now? Why would you think that now? I don't know why you would think that. But anyway, there you go. All right. Also trending. Oh, this is interesting. And like I said, this news is kind of in random order. So apparently there were some teens that were expelled from their school over blackface. Well, they've been awarded $1 million in court. So here it is. New jury awards $1 million verdict to students who were wrongly expelled and accused of wearing blackface. The legal team said that the two students wore acne-fighting face masks in solidarity with a friend who was prescribed the medication by a doctor in 2017. Several years later, in June 2020, the photo surfaced and school officials accused the students of being in blackface. St. Francis reportedly expelled the boys within 24 hours without considering their evidence and offering any hearing whatsoever. The students each will receive $500,000 from St. Francis High School, along with the reimbursement for their tuition, which totaled $70,000 for their 3 years at school. So this is a private school. No, GDSP. We're not going to make blackface great again, but I think it's fascinating. Because you look, the tarnish that comes along with this kind of an event probably never wears away, even if you were exonerated. In fact, here it is. The two teens. Let's see. Here's Colin Rugg. The photos were taken in 2017, but reemerged after the death of George Floyd in 2020. Oh, so they reemerged after George Floyd's death. So the photo was shared on the same day that a meme of George Floyd was shared among students as well, sparking more outrage. The photo began circulating, and instead of investigating the matter, the school submitted to the pressure from students and parents. Quote, defendants took it upon themselves to use the innocent and wholly unrelated photograph of the boys to make the malicious and utterly false accusation that the boys had been engaging in blackface, and to recklessly assert that the photograph was another example of racism at the school. So then we get the requisite Jimmy Kimmel and Howard Stern blackface events, who still haven't really paid any price for that. So it's it's fascinating. All right. Let's see what's next here. I got, don't stream on Max is trending. Now, if you are a subscriber to Max, which I happen to get a free subscription to Max with my cell phone service, apparently the community of the alphabet variety are upset with Max for some reason. Now, someone here says, let's see, it is absolutely baffling to us that Max and WBD, I'm not sure what WBD, Warner Brothers division, I don't know, are still refusing to promote their own content. It shouldn't fall on creators and fans to run marketing and publicity campaigns and then be punished when the numbers aren't there. So apparently there's some show. Wait, what? No, Sarah Silverman? Well, I'm sure if I scrolled down, you'd find Sarah Silverman too on that blackface thing. But anyway, so there's some show. What's this dumb show called? OFMD. I don't even know what it stands for. It's an acronym. Is that? Yeah, it's an acronym for some show on Max that apparently it has some gay or LGBTQIA plus 2A LMNOP characters, but they're not LGBTQ LMNOP 2S whatever enough, and so they're boycotting the show because apparently it's not getting enough play. And they're also mad because the Warner Brothers CEO got a $50 million bonus, but they're laying off workers at Max. There's a whole bunch of reasons that people are going after Max. Remember, we used to call it Skinamax because they always had the soft porn movies on certain nights or whatever. But anyway, so if you're wondering why that's trending, I have the link, and you can figure it out yourself because I can't get the whole story. Here's someone who says, I don't stream on Max because the blistering contempt in which they hold the hard work of creators. One useless fat cat on top gets a vast salary while folks who dedicate their lives to storytelling have their livelihoods decimated. Yes, but it has to do with this alphabet story that's not alphabet enough. Oh, here. Maybe this will help because I just saw this. I don't stream on Max because they cancel highly acclaimed series like Our Flag Means Death. That's what the acronym is. And have become the go-to example for canceling queer content. So apparently a show that wasn't doing that well. Now, if you think about it, have any of you ever seen any major promotion for anything streaming on Max that doesn't have to do with dragons? Because, House of Dragon or whatever. That's the only show I can think of that they really promote much, or at least, I don't know. I don't pay attention. I don't see commercials. Hello, Annalyn Episkopoulos. But, so here it is. This is why Glad is upset with them. If this will pop up here, maybe. Gosh, I hate this computer. I hate my computer so much. Here we go. Wait, 36% of LGBTQ TV characters won't be returning next season, says Glad. Why are they all on this show? And so what? Are they overrepresentative in popular entertainment media? If every show has to have 6 gay characters or something. It's almost a game you can play. If you see a show produced in the last 10 years, there's always some some LGBTQI2AS plus whatever plus character just randomly thrown in just to have one. And it's weird. In fact, you're more likely to see 2 men kissing on TV now than heterosexual couples almost. Well, okay, that's just me exaggerating something, but it's you can't get away from it. So I'm sorry. Only 8.6% of returning characters on TV are LGBTQ plus, according to a new Glad study. Is there a quota? Is there a quota? Because I there must be a quota. I'm going to leave it at that. That's why people are mad at Max, because they're killing a show that has more than one LGBTQ plus character. All right, there we go. That's enough to explain it all. All right, I'm almost to the articles, so let's finish up here and let's get to the articles. Also, Biden has been touting his economic record, and this is interesting. And I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but this is Joe Biden was on This Is CNN with Aaron Burnett, who's not going to ask him too many tough questions, but she does press him on this notion that Biden has created 15 million jobs. I mean, of course, Biden has created 15 million jobs, he says, according to Biden, of course. So here we go. This is CNN with Aaron Burnett asking him about jobs or about voter concerns. Play.
2-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey. For 65% of American people think they're in good shape economically. They think the nation's not in good shape, but they're personally in good shape. The polling data has been wrong all along. You know, how many, you guys do a poll with CNN, how many folks you have to call to get one response? The idea that we're in a situation where things are so bad, the folks that, I mean, we've created more jobs. We're in a situation where people have access to good paying jobs. And the last I saw, the combination of the inflation, the cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people with good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available.
Whoa. What? How? How does the President of the United States bring the cost of rentals down?
Available. Let me say it this way. When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse of the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Although GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still growing. Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it not being as strong as it was before is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah.
And they're not going to.
But, I mean,
they're
no
not going
president's
to.
had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs.
Okay, hold on. This is, okay, I want to go to the jobs thing because he made a claim here. And this is a job right, here's the claim right here. President Biden talking about, here he is talking about Donald Trump and jobs. Here it is.
So Trump attended a groundbreaking here where we are for Foxconn. He promised 13,000 jobs, and only about 1,000 of those actually exist right now. So I know you're promising more than 2,000 union construction jobs, and that 100,000 people are going to get trained in AI here. Why should people here believe that you will succeed at creating jobs where Trump failed?
He's never succeeded in creating jobs.
Oh, contraire. The first 3 years of his
created over
administration.
15 million jobs since he's been president.
There it is.
15 million.
How?
In 3.75 years.
Does she challenge him on this?
Secondly, Microsoft is a serious player.
Does she challenge him on this?
And they're very much engaged in making sure that they pick this area as sort of the home base for their AI initiative in the nation. And they're gonna do it. And
okay, so that's a company that already exists.
Well, I shouldn't go into it, but
and wait. So he's touting the fact that Microsoft is going to make this area their AI base. They're gonna have all these AI, working on AI, right? Oh, you mean the AI that's going to supplant people from jobs, Joe? Really? That's it. That's interesting.
He started off with the golden shovels,
For the groundbreaking here.
For the groundbreaking.
Yeah, not unusual.
He talked about this being, the eighth wonder of the world. When has he ever done anything he said? I'm not being facetious. Think about it.
The first 3
He
years
started
of
he lost, other than Herbert Hoover, he's the only other president who lost more jobs than created in his 4-year term. He's, the way he managed the end of his last year when we were dealing with COVID, 1 million people died. He
made the mistake of following Fauci's advice. Okay, enough of that. So anyway, point here, him claiming that that but now here's Aaron.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most important issue for voters. It's also true right now, Mr. President, that voters by a wide margin trust Trump more on the economy. They say that in polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers, and you're aware of many of these, of course. The cost of buying a home in the United States is double what it was when you look at your monthly costs from before the pandemic. Real income, when you account for inflation,
down, and he
is
won't
actually
admit that.
down since you took office. Economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a two-year low.
Now, it's interesting because
so when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far.
Obviously, each person who posts parts of this interview are going to post the parts that support their side the most. So obviously that was a MAGA account giving him the tough questions, but his answers were also the problem. Now, as we moved on from this, his boast, he made one boast though that was a complete lie. Okay. And let's listen to this one here. I think right here.
So when you talk about the economy, of course, it is by far the most
let me move forward here.
polls. And part of the reason for that may be the numbers. And you're aware of many of these, of course.
Forward a little bit.
The pandemic, real office, economic growth last week, far short of expectations. Consumer confidence, maybe no surprise, is near a two-year low. With less than 6 months to go to Election Day, are you worried that you're running out of time to turn that around?
We've already turned it around. Look at the Michigan survey.
Okay, we heard this part.
For
I want to move
65%.
past this. Because he makes a claim that's completely
The cost of inflation, all those things, that's really worrisome to people. With good reason. That's why I'm working very hard to bring the cost of rentals down, to increase the number of homes that are available. But let me say it this way. When I started this administration, people were saying there's going to be a collapse in the economy. We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again, in the world.
Although GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still good.
Yes, it was.
Look at the response of the markets. Overwhelmingly positive.
Where is the
Overwhelmingly positive.
Okay, I'm
And one of the
going to
reasons why
stop
people
playing
feel
him.
good about it not being as strong as it was before
Hang
is
on.
they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Listen
Yeah.
carefully. Listen carefully.
Well, so, but I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office.
That's it. There it is.
9%.
There it is.
But look,
That's the claim.
People have a right to be concerned.
Did you hear that? He said that inflation was 9% when he came into office. He said it was 9%. That's false. It was 9% 2 years into his presidency. When he came into office, it was 1.4%. It peaked, the second year of office, 9.1% in June 2022, 18 months into his term. So that was complete, utter bullshit. So that's interesting. All right, I'm going to move on because we talked about Stormy Daniels testifying. There's a whole bunch that's trending right now, and a couple of interesting clips that we'll play. We'll do first. This is a former federal judge talking about Stormy Daniels' testimony and how it may not be too helpful to the prosecution. Here it is, and again, this is CNN. Play. My computer's killing me.
The material that came in was not relevant to this criminal case at all.
Not relevant.
And I think it shows that she was trying to get Trump. I actually thought there was a motive there. She said she hates him. She said she'd like to see him in prison. I think she was purposely throwing out this stuff to make sure the jurors were prejudiced, particularly the women jurors, but probably half of the men too, were really put off. The material that came in.
Okay. Are you allowed to say that on CNN? Some people calling the testimony disastrous for the prosecution. So there's a bunch of clips about that. I'm going to move on. Also, in more Trump news, Trump is filing a motion to remove the gag order, but the Grok summary Former President Donald Trump has found himself in hot water once again, this time over a gag order violation that could potentially land him behind bars. Trump never wanted to shy away from a good quote, channeled his inner Patrick Henry, declaring, give me liberty or give me death, in response to the judge's threat, while some on his legal team, or some of his legal team and supporters, are holding their breath, hoping he'll play it safe. Others, like the ever controversial Steve Bannon, are urging him to go full nuclear. Meanwhile, there's a lot of speculation on the internet about what Trump's potential jail cell might look like, with some suggesting he might have to get cozy with a combination sink toilet. Anyway, there's a lot of people saying jailing Trump on contempt would likely mean locking him up for an hour or two behind the courtroom, experts predict. They'll probably find a room in the courtroom. They'll force him to stay there. Who knows what they're going to do? But anyway, that's trending. Also, let's see. Oh, and today is the day that the Supreme Court will be announcing decisions. Now, I don't know if any decisions have been announced yet, so we'll do a check on that after we go through Gun Fox's articles, which he has so kindly provided us with today, which I'm going to take that off the screen so I can get one of his on the screen. Let's start with a couple Gun Fox articles that he paid good money for me to read these, so I better get on the stick here. Let's start with this one. Apparently, MSNBC believes that some judges are trying to blackmail Columbia University. What? Oh, you mean the judges who say they're not going to hire clerks from Columbia University? Kind of like a bunch of judges are no longer going to hire clerks from Harvard University and Yale also for their free speech stance. So let's see what this is. This is an MSNBC opinion. Oh, God, here we go. This week, 13 conservative judges, all of whom were appointed by former President Donald Trump, told the president of Columbia University in a letter that they won't hire judicial law clerks, future graduates of Columbia Law School, or as law clerks, future graduates of Columbia Law School, or even those who went to Columbia University as graduates, as undergraduates. In a letter that was also sent to the school's law school's dean, the judges say they won't change their minds unless the school acquiesces to their demands for more conservative faculty and staff members, punishment for students who broke the school's rules, and an end to what they believe are enforcement policies that are biased against conservatives. The judges, this is an editorial, by the way, the judges who are wrongly using their positions of power in an attempt to extort change at a private institution claim that Columbia has become an incubator of bigotry, and they profess to have no doubt that the university's response would have been profoundly different if the protesters were religious conservatives who view abortion as a tragic genocide. If judges don't want to hire applicants who protested for one side of an issue, they are free to do so. In fact, this is a fair consequence for the students' actions, but penalizing future students for an administration's alleged failures doesn't serve that purpose. And so openly engaging in political advocacy is a bad look for the federal judiciary, which is supposed to be politically impartial. Judges aren't obligated to hire law clerks from any particular school or geographic area, or those who have any specific type of legal experience. Judges are free to say, no one from Columbia shall work for me, but it is more than a bad look when judges say such a thing in the attempt to force a law school to change its composition of its faculty and staff to fit their ideological views. Besides, there is a list of demands for school administrators, not clerkship applicants. A judicial law clerk is a recent law school graduate who works side by side with a federal judge for up to 2 years. It's hard to emphasize how coveted and competitive these positions are. About 3% of law graduates clerk after graduation. Almost half of recent judicial clerks attended one of 15 schools. Columbia isn't one of those 15, even though it's listed 8th on the U.S. News and World Report most recent ranking of law schools. As Reuters notes in a Tuesday report, Columbia is not a major feeder into federal clerkships, with a vast majority of its graduates going into associate jobs at large law firms. Only 21 of Columbia's 427 Juris Doctorate graduates last year got clerkships. In contrast, Reuters reports University of Chicago Law School, Yale Law School, and Stanford Law School each sent 20% or more of their 2023 graduates into federal clerkships. So then they go through a list of the judges who did this. In fact, let's see. Judge James Ho of the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals and Elizabeth Branch of the 11th Circuit, signatories on the letter to Columbia University President Minouche Shafik and Law Dean Gillian Lesser, previously swore off hiring clerks from Yale or Stanford Law Schools, ironically, to register their disapproval of cancel culture. Look, this is not blackmail, although unless you go like really, really far. This is one of those where I go, are they really going to affect any change, especially a school that doesn't do a lot of law clerks? And also, why'd they write this letter? All they got to do is not do it. But anyway, a judge clerkship is a stamp of approval on one's resume like no other. Former judicial clerks are highly sought after in legal job markets, including large law firms, government agencies, and nonprofit organizations. Well, there's still a bunch of lawyers. That's not good. Hello. Good morning, Nomad. What's up?
Stop. Hammer time.
If I had the honor, this person was a law clerk at one time. If I hadn't had the honor of serving as a judicial law clerk, I'm not certain I'd have ever been hired as a law professor, but clerkships also bestow bragging rights on the law schools, and clerks attended and raised those schools' profiles in the legal community. All of this is to say that if a federal judge or a group of federal judges announces a refusal to hire graduates of a single school, it matters, and the judge knows it matters. It is entirely fair for federal judges to exercise their discretion in determining which judicial clerk applicant to hire. The bond between judges and former clerks often continues for years as judges serve as valuable mentors and confidants. Judges want to make sure they pick applicants who are not only up to the job, but also who are also a good fit for their chambers. Should I be childish on that one or not? Nah, I'm not. I'm going to pass. It's just too easy. And law clerks, fairly or not, can affect judges' reputation with their own behavior. But it makes little sense for judges to exercise their hiring discretion by simply eliminating candidates based on the school they attend. A guilt by association hiring ban does little other than hurt students and young lawyers, and it reflects poorly on the judges who issue it. There's no doubt about what the judges mean by viewpoint diversity. They wrote, significant and dramatic changes in the composition of its faculty and administration is required to restore the confidence in Columbia. This is an ever so thinly veiled directive to hire more conservative faculty and staff members. The judges did, of course, send a similar letter demanding viewpoint diversity to law schools perceived as having conservative leanings. Are there any of those? What law schools like that? Does Hillsdale, whatever, they have a law school? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What school in general has that? I don't know. I guess I'd have to look that up. As an initial matter, judges put too much faith in the power of law professors to force or encourage their students to espouse specific views. My hope as a law professor is that I teach my students how to think through complicated legal issues, not what to think about those issues. But perhaps most important, what we have with this letter is members of our judiciary using their federal post to all but blackmail a private university to bend to their political will. This is political activism unbecoming of any member of our federal judiciary. Let's remember that these judges who receive lifetime appointments because they're supposed to stay out of politics. I don't disagree with this editorial 100%. I think it may have been prudent for those judges to stay out of it. But they still can, if they want to eliminate because of where the students went, you might lose a gem. You never know. So who knows? This is not the worst editorial I've ever heard. Hello, Jonathan Peterson, coming here live. Welcome, sir. All right, next article from GunFox. Did you give me 2 or 3? You gave me 2, right? 1, 2. Okay, this is the this is this one. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Black Lives Matter's global network files a $33 million lawsuit against a group helping fund college protests. This is going to be a gem. This came from the New York Post. A progressive nonprofit that has been shelling out cash to anti-Israel protest groups is being sued by Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation for fraud and withholding more than $33 million in donations, a bombshell lawsuit claims. Now, this is interesting. I don't know if this is this is the Breakaway group. Okay, I was going to say, is this the group that was buying houses out in Cali in white neighborhoods? All right, let's see here. The Tides Foundation, which has managed hundreds of millions in donations for progressive groups since it was founded in 1976, has refused to honor its promises and continues to commandeer BLM GNF's donations, according to the 285-page lawsuit filed in California Superior Court, Los Angeles County on Monday. Instead, Tides doled out an undisclosed amount of donations to a radical BLM breakaway group run by anti-police activist Melina Abdullah, who lost a frivolous lawsuit against BLM Global Network, according to court papers and an attorney for BLM GNF, which is the group that's filed the lawsuit. Tides, a Los Angeles and San Francisco-based nonprofit, acts as a fiscal sponsor, essentially a clearinghouse that collects donations for groups that may not have a 501c3 tax-exempt status. In addition, Black Lives Matter Global, whatever, BLM GNF, and other BLM groups it manages donations for pro-Palestinian groups that have supported anti-Israel protests across the country. So wait a minute. The headline, okay, I'm trying to think of, does the headline make sense here? Billionaire, he who shall not be named, and his son Alex, whose last name shall not be named, have funneled nearly $14 million from their Open Society Foundation to the Tides, which sponsors activist groups, including the pro-Palestinian Adala Justice Project and others fueling campus protests. Quote, here's a quote. Tides has engaged in deceptive business practices and has operated in a quasi-banking capacity without appropriate regulatory oversight of licenses, the BLM GNF lawsuit says. Tide operates with a level of autonomy and minimal regulatory scrutiny that is starkly at odds with the regulatory framework imposed on traditional financial institutions. Now, that's interesting. Why? The comparison of Tides actually just to a bank that holds money for these, because they have the 501c status, right? So instead of donating directly to these groups, you donate to Tide, and Tide doles it out. But do they have discretion to dole it out at their own discretion? That's curious. That's curious. So, according to the lawsuit, Tide has more than $1.4 billion in assets and allegedly acts as a bank only without banking regulations. The BLM GNF, the national organization of the civil rights movement founded in 2017, took tens of millions in donations after the death of George Floyd in 2020. At the time, the group did not have tax-exempt status from the IRS and approached the Tides Foundation to help manage the flood of cash. Tides, which takes a percentage of donations to manage a group's funds, gave verbal assurances that it will return the collected money once BLM GNF received tax-exempt status, the lawsuit claims. In the meantime, it managed donations in a collective action fund that would be accessible to BLM GNF, according to the lawsuit. BLM-GNF ended its relationship with Tides in 2022, and Tides has refused to hand over the cash, totaling some $33 million, the complaint says. Now, it kind of sounds like BLM-GNF has a point. If Tide still has the money that was donated to BLM-GNF. So instead, Tides, which takes between 3 and 9% of the donations it processes, has sent part of the funds to other BLM groups without the permission of BLM-GNF. Well, you get confused which BLM group is which, because, I was going to say they all look alike, but that's wrong. That's not the right thing to say. And but there's several. They might have given it to the wrong BLM group for all they know, because there's, who you supposed to be giving this money to. Now, on June 9, 2022, a Tides official said Tides had transferred $7.4 million from the collective fund back to BLM-GNF. Instead, it sent part of the cash, $4.75 billion, to an unaffiliated BLM chapter in Oklahoma. Okay, it is unclear why such a large amount would have been granted to a single city's BLM chapter. Well, because they're better grifters than you. In a statement to the Post Wednesday, a spokeswoman for the Tides Foundation called the allegations in the complaint completely false. Well, they're not going to admit to it in public. Resources in the Black Lives Matter Collective Action Fund were never intended to be granted to large, well-funded national organizations like Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, and were always intended to be granted to local Black Lives Matter chapters. Oh, yeah, because if it's BLM-GNF, if they're the ones who are buying the houses, then and the Tides Foundation says, no, we're going to donate it directly to local chapters, because some local chapters were pissed off that the national organization was taking all the money and what didn't seem to be trickling out to the chapters, right? So that's an interesting fight in itself. While the Tides website mentions that it offers grant management, an attorney for BLM-GNF says in a statement to the Post that Tides was not authorized to dole out donations earmarked for BLM-GNFs to offshoot groups or local chapters. Okay, so they weren't authorized to send them to local chapters. So, and then defund the police activists. Oh, Tides. Okay, that's different. That's a different article. Tides said that it had granted $12.6 million from the support fund to groups including BLM Grassroots, a breakaway group helmed by activist Melina Abdullah. She tried to collect $10 million from BLM-GNF in a frivolous lawsuit for her breakaway BLM Grassroots. Abdullah, who is running an independent candidate in Cornell West and is Cornell West's running mate in the U.S. presidential election. If you didn't know that, how could you not know that already? Lost the lawsuit last year and was ordered to pay more than $700,000 in BLM-GNF's legal fees and costs. So she sued them, and then she lost and owes them $700,000. An attorney for BLM-GNF cited in a June ruling by the Los Angeles County Superior Court judge who dismissed BLM Grassroots claims of the two different groups of any of BLM-GNF's donations. So, quote, this lawsuit against the Tide Foundation is not just about financial discrepancies, but the principle of rightful ownership and transparency that should govern partnerships in social justice funding, said attorney Byron McLean Wednesday. In a statement to the Post, BLM-GNF said they never expected to become victims of unscrupulous business practices in social justice philanthropy. Well, I gotta tell you, the money flowing is always tempting when when it's these nonprofits and there's a lot of people with their noses and thinners in the pot. So you just never know where that money's gonna go. Apparently, because some of them buy houses and shit. All right, so There is an expectation for Black Lives Matter to challenge systems, break barriers, and uphold the truth, no matter how uncomfortable the statement said. Today, that extends into nonprofit operations as we call out Tides Foundation and other so-called fiscal sponsors who exploit their role. Okay? But BLM GNF has had its own issues with finances after raking in $90 million in donations for 2020 alone. And that brings us to Patrisse Cullors, the group's co-founder, then went on a multi-million-dollar home buying spree, purchasing 2 homes in Los Angeles and a property in the Atlanta suburbs with an airplane hangar and runway, as first revealed by the Post. Cullors denied that she used donations to buy the properties. Well, wait, no. How you didn't? So they just paid you a lot of money and then you used that money. Is that what you're saying? She resigned from BLM GNF a month later in May 2021. Cullors also signed off on a $6 million Los Angeles mansion to be used as an office for BLM GNF and an $8 million property in Toronto for the group's Canada chapter. So yeah, she's I don't know if she's living in them houses, but she certainly used BLM money to do it. Now they want money from the Tides Foundation, and nobody's happy in that realm of possibilities. All right. That's it for today, because there's a whole bunch of articles. I'm going to put the aggregator on the links today, JJ Sefton's morning report from the Ace of Spades blog, where I get a lot of my stories because he organizes them very well. So that'll be in the links today, along with everything else we've already done. Audit both. Yes, they definitely all need to be audited. I'm just saying. And anybody feels okay. Here's a question while we're finishing up here. Do you, and you can just put a yes or no in the chat, not one or two, but just a yes or no in the chat. Do you right there, do you feel sorry for BLM GNF? And on that note, I got to go. Thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. I'll be here tomorrow on Friday. It's Q&A day. Think of some good questions. And that you too, AD. And that's it. Please share the stream, post haste, ex post facto, whatever. Washington Post, whatever, after the show. That's what I'm saying. And hit the like button before you go. Share the stream. And if you want to sponsor the show, PDogNight.live is where the best place to do a super chat is PDogNight.live, because you can put in links, you can put in you can use a credit card or PayPal. You get 256 characters no matter how much you donate. That's the best place. And then you could also be the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day, just like Gunfox 61. All right, I gotta go. Thanks everybody. That's it. My name is P-Dog Night, and I am out of here. Bye bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thanks for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.